Okay, I'm going to walk through with you guys how to use Google Sheets to make a graph and how specifically you're going to use the data from the past 2 days to make your graph because you're going to be combining data that you recorded from the first day, whether that was sand or water, with the people across from you who tested the opposite thing, like the sand or water. So if you were testing sand on Monday, then your people across from you were testing the water. So we're going to combine that data as well as the data that you collected the second day where you were testing different substances. So here's the Google Sheet that you're going to be inserting and copy and pasting your data from the past couple of days. Um, so if you remember the first day, we collected like data for water and sand, okay? And the second day, we collected um, different materials. So like we're going to be looking at a sample group right now. So I'm going to be using some sample data from one of my groups, and then you'll be able to use that to kind of model how you're going to do it for your group. Okay, so what I'm going to first do is I'm going to go to the first day's data, which was the, so I'm looking at my period 7 class, and we had a group at one side of the table, like group 3 with Anna and Nick, they collected sand. And the other side of the table, Leslie and Madison were collecting data for water. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to take the sand data that Anna and Nick collected. I'm going to highlight it all, scroll down, and then copy the temperatures because I already filled in the times for you. So if I go to the current, this is the one you're going to be putting your data in here. This is your data analysis sheet. So they collected the sand. So I'm going to put in their data for sand. So their side of the table. And here we'll put all their names like Anna, Nick, and then we're going to be doing Leslie and Maddie. Okay. I'm going to collect the data and see what my other side of the table did for water. So my water people, again, for in this case, the sample one was Leslie and Maddie. So if I were them, I'd be highlighting this, and they got 27 minutes of data, which is fine. I'm going to paste that in here. Okay. So here we see our data so far. So this group was testing mud. Okay. So Anna and Nick, you guys, for example, and this will be kind of the same for everyone here. So here's the data table or the data for the second material you tested. So for example, Anna and Nick, they would be copying and pasting this data here. So actually this part will just be Anna and Nick. Leslie and Maddie, you would scroll down here and put your data here. And you would do the same thing where you copy again the same sand, the same water. However, you guys are going to have a different mud data than Anna and Nick. Okay, so again, I'm using you guys as an example. You'll be doing this on your own later. But this would be like Anna and Nick, what they would have here. Okay, so here's all their data. So this was, again, the mud data that Anna and Nick collected. Everyone else, you're going to put in your data that you collected about your material, whether it was pea gravel, salt water, mulch, all that. Okay, so now to actually get this onto a graph, what you're going to do is you're going to highlight, click and drag the headings and the data you have. Okay. All right. So now to get the graph. Okay, so there's this little button up here that says Insert Chart. So we're going to press Insert Charts. And what we want is we want a scatter plot. So we're going to go to Recommended Charts. We're going to press More. And we're going to go to Scatter. Okay, and we want to highlight, the only choice we have here is this top one. So we're going to press that. Okay, now to modify this, we're going to go to Customize. Okay, the title, you're going to make your own title, but you want to include all your different variables that you tested. So think about, we had temperature, time, and the 3 materials that you tested. For the legend, to make the key a little just easier to read, let's make that a text of 10. Okay, so then we can get all, if we can see now everything that we were testing. Other key things here, your axes. So again, the horizontal was your independent variable. Okay, so this horizontal should be your time in minutes. And we'll get back to how to do the left axis scale, but that's not the, I'll do that in a moment. Now, to actually get, we want trend lines for every piece of data. So right now we're going to do the sand. So to do the trend line, here where it says trend line, we're going to say linear. And so now you see this blue line come here, okay? We want to include this equation that's provided here. So to do that, when you have label here, you're going to say use equation. Okay. So that's what we want to include there. So now we want to do the trend line for the other data, for the water, which is the red line on this graph, and the mud, which is the yellow graph. So to change your series, now we'll do water. So we're going to highlight water and say, hey, we want a trend line. So we're going to say we want a linear trend line. So now we see the red line pop up. And the label, again, we want to see the equation so we can see the slope. Okay. And now we want to do the same thing now for in their case, the mud. So mud, we want to see its trend line. So linear. And again, to see the actual slope data, the equation, we're going to say use equation. Okay. So again, you're going to make your own title. Okay. Let's insert this right now. All right, so what I'm going to do, I have my graph that showed up here. I'm going to put it, slide it under, just grab it here. Okay, we're going to slide it under here. I can make some more room for you guys for your graph here. But for right now, we're going to leave it right there. To change this axis, because this will be your temperature, you're going to say temperature. And if we want the degrees Celsius, we can copy and paste. Actually, I'm going to copy and paste this degrees Celsius here. Copy and paste that. Enter. Okay. And again, you want to change your title. Okay, I'm not going to do that for you guys, but you're going to do that. So you're going to answer the questions on the right here based on your data here. So if you remember from your algebra class, the slope is the number in front of the x. So here it's saying it's mx plus b, so m times x plus b. So based on the slopes, you will be able to figure out based on the slope, whichever slope is higher, that means that substance was heating up faster. And whichever one was lower, that means that it was a slower rate of heating / cooling. Okay, so you're going to use that data to answer these questions. So based on your trend lines and the R values, which is like your slope, rank your substances, water, sand, and the other material, which in this case mud, from the fastest to heat and cool to the slowest to heat and cool. So use your slope data to support your conclusion, your ranking. So you want to include numbers, like the slope of the water was this, the slope of the sand was this, the slope of the other substance, in this case mud, was this, to support your ranking. Again, answer here, did this match your prediction that you made yesterday? Explain. Let's explain any sort of errors that could have happened while collecting your data that could have affected your results, and then try to come up with somehow how this information could be used in your everyday life. So hint, think about how the areas near water and maybe that aren't near water may differ. So think about maybe weather related things. So that'll lead us into what we're going to be talking about tomorrow. Okay, that is it.